I'm just certain. Yeah.
Welcome everyone to grab seats and okay, welcome everyone. Grab seats and we're gonna actually hear a little bit from the line dancers about the line dance and history of line dance and what it means. So come on in. Why don't we give another big hand to the line dancers and tell them. While everybody's getting seated, I'll just say a few opening remarks. Come on in, everyone. So it's a little bit more chaotic than a normal hot lunch. You understand an exciting opening act. And welcome to all those joining us on Zoom as well. Hopefully you were able to see the whole line dance show. Good. So great. I just wanted to actually now sort of formally open it up, and I'm Henry Yu, the principal of St. John's College, and I'll talk about hot lunch and things afterwards. But just want to again welcome you all to St. John's, and start with our acknowledgement that we are on the unceded, ancestral, and traditional territories of the Musqueam. You can see above us the Musqueam flag, as well as a wonderful Susan Point tapestry called Salmon People, which again is a symbol for us of gathering around the table. Our motto here at St. John's is the world around our table, and so you're forming a bit of the world around our table around hot lunch. And we're really excited. Last year during the pandemic, we actually had the line dancers, but we had no lunch because, well, it was COVID. So now we're excited to have the line dancers be able to come, as well as all of you who are here to enjoy lunch, as well as those of you who are joining from outside. So I'm going to welcome the dancers on up to the microphone.
Hey, thanks everyone. My name's Sean. I'm one of the performers with Chau and Athletics Day. I'd like to acknowledge also that UBC Kung Fu was also with us doing the other line as well, but they had to leave early since they actually have another line dance that masked in an hour. So thank you. First off, I'd just like to say Happy New Year. You know, it's the year of the rabbit, and you know, Chinese New Year. I just wanted to give a little bit of cultural and historical context about really what the lion is and what Chinese New Year is sort of about. So as you know, Chinese New Year in China is one of probably the biggest holiday in China. It usually goes on for around a month. And for like any holiday, you know, you have friends and family get together to have dinner, as well as give red envelopes and also perform and watch lion dances. So, the big question is, why is it called a lion dance? The so-called lion doesn't really resemble what we think of as an African lion. So there's a few theories as to how the lion dance originated. One of them goes is that there was actually a Persian king that donated 2 lions as a token of friendship to the Chinese emperor. And so this lion was thought to be like the most powerful animal in the animal kingdom. And slowly, the lion began to become associated with power and status in Chinese culture. And that's, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but outside important Chinese establishments, you might see 2 stone lions guarding the entrance. And if you notice, actually, one of the lions, you can tell the female and the male apart because the male lion underneath its paw will actually be a ball, and underneath the female statue will actually be a cub. So next time you see those, you might get a chance to notice which is the male and female. But that still begs the question, those stone statued lions still don't really look like these lions we're performing today. Those stone statues look more like the traditional, the African lion. And why is that? And that's because the lion we have today here is actually a southern lion. So there's actually a difference between northern and southern lions. And the northern lion will actually have a more predominant mane and will resemble more of what you typically think of as an actual lion. So one of the theories as to why there's this difference between the southern and the northern lion goes is that, as word spread throughout China about these 2 lions that were gifted to the Chinese emperor, of course, they didn't have the internet or pictures like any of that. So as word spread, things kind of get jumbled up. And so by the time that word of the lion spread to the south, whereas the capital was more in the north, the southern lion began to get a different type of cultural significance as well as a different physical appearance as well. And specific to the southern lion, there's actually a bit of a story or mythology that goes with it too. And the story goes is that every time around the Lunar New Year, there would be this village. And this village would get terrorized by this monster or this beast called the Year around the time of the Lunar New Year. And so every year the village would get terrorized by this monster, and it would eat its crops and it would destroy all the houses there. And the villagers didn't really know what to do because year after year this would happen again. So they went to their local learned person who was a monk. And they asked this monk, what should we do about this year, this monster that's coming every year and terrorizing our village? And the monk had heard about this lion from the north. And he said to them, you know what? I bet if you had this lion, that it'd be able to scare off this year, because the lion is the most powerful creature we know. And so the villagers thought about this, but they didn't really know what to do because, of course, they weren't going to be able to get this lion, and they weren't going to have a way to tame this lion either. So they came up with a plan instead that they were going to make a fake lion out of paper mache and bamboo. And that's sort of what you see today. Based off this descriptions of the monk, they decided to make this lion costume. And to mimic the deafening roar of the lion, they also played the drum, cymbal, and gong. And so the next year, when the year came from the mountains to terrorize the village, the villagers got into their costume and played the cymbal and the gong, the drum, and scared off the lion and threw firecrackers. That's why Chinese New Year is typically so noisy, because they're really trying to scare off the previous year and also scare away the evil spirits. Okay, and one more thing. You probably noticed that the lion was eating lettuce. The lion was probably not a vegetarian. So why is he eating this lettuce? Well, in Chinese, the word lettuce or vegetable, cai, is actually a homophone for wealth, which is cai. So what the lion is really doing is when he's eating the lettuce and spitting it out, he's actually spreading wealth. So that's sort of what's connected there to it. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to say about the lion. I hope you guys enjoyed the performance and learned a little bit about Chinese culture and the history behind it as well. So thank you again. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Sean. And as you can imagine, it's really busy this year for line dancers. And so we were really lucky that in the middle of the workday, we could get Chau as well as the UBC line dancers to come. So another big hand for them for coming. So as we keep climbing in, we're sold out. So look for empty spaces and everybody grab seats. And I'll just cover by talking a little bit as people file in. So actually a couple additional words about the Spring Festival, which we're at. And that's actually the name in Chinese as well as in a lot of places in Asia. which celebrate this lunar festival, Lunar New Year festival. So we call it Lunar New Year in English, but in fact, it's really a spring festival. So that's why I'm wearing the kind of, Robin's a blue kind of Hawaiian shirt. So one of the things actually about the Spring Festival is that, as Sean was mentioning, it's to bring in sort of good tidings for the next year, to wish everybody a healthy, happy, prosperous. That's where that lettuce comes in. But it's also to ward off bad spirits for the whole year. So that's why it's such a kind of important moment to kind of welcome the new year. It's also to pay off your debts from last year. So you're not supposed to go into the new year in debt. It's one of the reasons why families will visit friends, and debt is not just monetary debt, although companies are supposed to pay their dividends also before the end of the year. It's kind of like your fiscal end that's coming up for us at UBC on March 31st. So you gotta like make sure your accounts are even. And if someone did something kind to you or helped you out, you're supposed to make sure you thank them before the end of the year. So hopefully all of you were able to do that before the, we still have a couple weeks to do that. We celebrate over several weeks actually in terms of the new year. Another thing I think maybe that's really useful for you to know is that this is the year of the rabbit in the Chinese zodiac, but also for Vietnamese, this is one of the ones that differs. It's the year of the cat. So those of you who are Vietnamese, this is the year of the cat. The rest of the animals are pretty much the same. Ox is water buffalo in Vietnamese, but it's still a kind of cow-like zodiac creature. But this one's totally different, rabbit or cat. So you can decide whether you identify more if you're born this year with a cat. If you're a cat person, go ahead and be a cat person. If you're a rabbit person, then do that. So I'm gonna actually ask everybody now to get food, and then we're going to have our visitors today coming from Campus Community Planning, talk about Campus Vision 2050. So we're excited about that. But why don't we take some time, get food. We're really packed today, so we'll come back in about 15-20 minutes. Thanks a lot.